and welcome back to another new edition of Windows and Current Affairs. And today we continue our follow-up over the file of education. Of course, the file of education is very bulky. It's very crowded with lots of changes, and also at the same time there are upgrades in the curriculums and files that are open and improved and is progressing every while and then. Today we take a comprehensive, thorough look over the file of education when it comes to citizenship, when it comes to upgrading the different curriculums, when it comes to facing, honestly, the different challenges that are facing the educational system in the sense of the problems that are facing the teachers, their requirements, their needs, their requests for upgrading their salaries, and the different requirements by teachers, the requirements by the schools themselves, the requirements of the students, and the requirements of the progressive process of the educational system. Today we're going to embark over the educational file, and as usual we're very delighted to be having with us here live in the studio Dr. Ibrahim Tehaiwi. He is a member of the International Parliament of Human Development. He's also a certified trainer, a British Council, and a UN Counselor for Training and Development. Good evening, Dr. Ibrahim.
Nice to meet you.
Same here. Let's first take a look over the latest decision taken by the Ministry of Education concerning the primary and secondary stage rather.
Yeah.
The primary and secondary stage are the most particular stages that are very focused by parents. Mm-hmm. And that have lots of complications and lots of problems and requirements and challenges. So if you'd like to elaborate over those two particular stages in the lives of students, and why are they so impressive and important to their road or their course towards university?
In fact, first of all, I'd like to appreciate the great efforts still exerted by Dr. Tehaiwi, the Minister of Education, and Dr. Muhammad Omar. In fact, they started and they are still doing great efforts in the field of primary stage and secondary stage. You know, all the audience that Dr. Tehaiwi, when he came, he was concerned with what? Firstly, he wanted to change. So the change here has its requirements. So he wanted firstly to start from the beginning. Actually, he started from the beginning, from first stage, from primary 1 and primary 2, step by step, because he was believing, and he is still believing, we all believing that this is a base of the pyramids. It's very, very important stage to start if we want to change. In the same time, he was concerned with changing second stage. Why? Because all families, okay, were and still frightened by the mafia of Thanawi Amma. In the same time, this is some kind, causes some terrors in all homes. So he wanted to overcome this huge rock in front of him. If we wanted to say that Thanawi Amma was like huge rock, we wanted to overcome. So he managed to overcome by starting by first, secondary, by starting by saying how, if you wanted to make assessments, it is not vital, it's not important, it's not true, it's not fair to make one exam. So he began to think to put many exams. But in fact, I'd like to say, frankly speaking, because I'm in the field, what I found that we had problems, and we actually faced the problem in using tablets and exams. In his point of view, Dr. Tehaiwi, he wanted to make 4 exams for the whole year. Why? Because he wanted to psychologically to change the state of one direct exam for the student, because he may be tired, he may be sick, he may be traveling to anywhere. He has the right to enjoy his time as a student. At the same time, he didn't want to put at a sudden the student and their parents in one assessment on one exam. So this is his point of view. But when he began to start, actually, what happened? He was obliged to change from 4 exams to 2 exams. One for the first term, I'm talking about first secondary. This is the first problem which we actually faced when we wanted to apply. After that, he had to change from 4 exams per year, 2 first term and 2 second term, to 2 exams only. Because of what? Because of online exams. And here I'd like to say my message, my criteria, which I actually did with third prep in 2013, and I wrote an article called Educational Revolution in National Institutions, saying that my aim is to change from traditional exam to electronic one, not online one. This is Dr. Tariq Shawqi, the message which I sent actually to Dr. Mahmoud Abu Nasr, the ex-president, the ex-minister of education. In the same time, I meant by my point of view that we can't apply online. Why? What I said in 2013 actually happened. And when I began to talk with Dr. Tariq Hijazi about this problem, he didn't give due concern to my speech. Although it actually, I'm not talking about myself, but I am actually talking about a documented article I wrote in 2013, talking about electronic one on computers, not online. Because we have problem. I think it's a great dream to apply online for whole Egypt. And this is what happened. From the first day, if you, I think all of you following what happened, and I was observing daily, moment by moment. From first secondary, we found the first day the system was off, wasn't working. This is the first day was finished without being examined to the students. What happened? We had to take all the students to be examined using papers again. So the problem was still. On the second day, they managed, or they had the ability to solve the problem. So I wrote here another article saying that if we managed to solve the problem on the second day and we couldn't on the first day, that means to me that we had no planning. And the planning here, I can't put all the blame on the Minister of Education or the Ministry of Education itself. But we have some ministers, like the Ministry of Telecommunications, for example, was supporting and sustaining the Ministry of Education at the time. So if we want to plan for something, Ms. Dina, I think we have to plan from early stage, early age, okay? We should take our enough time to plan. So again, I'd like to say, Dr. Tariq Shawqi, if we managed to succeed on the second day for first secondary, and we didn't succeed on the first day of the exams, what is the problem of, it is not the fault of the students and their parents, okay? So please, we have to plan next time before the exams. In my point of view, we have the amount of the students, okay? We have to calculate the number of the students. We have 23,000 students. We have to say this number, want online, want tablets. We have to calculate it, okay, on papers, because when we want to, if you want to make online again, to be prepared for what's going to happen. But again, I'd like to send my message to Dr. Tariq Shawqi, please try to apply electronic, not online, because again and again we are going to face the problems which we actually faced in the first year, previous year, in first secondary. We faced many problems, Ms. Dina, related to the exam and the tablets. Some of the students, the tablets didn't open.
Right.
Okay. One or some other students joined and the system was off. And the tablet was memorizing, okay, calculating time. And I faced and I met some students who failed the exam. Is it their fault? No, it isn't their fault. So here we have many problems. Why would they fail? They failed because they didn't know or recognize that the tablet is numbering minutes, calculating minutes, and it is still working. But in front of them, technical problem. In front of them,
why would they pay for it?
They was online, so they had to fail, and after that they had to be examined again in the second session or tournament. Okay, so this is a problem we have to prepare from now. Dr. Tariq Shawqi, please, I hope to apply my point of view, which is electronic one on computers, like ICDL. We all were examined ICDL on computers, not online. because here we have a challenge. The whole world, I think we have a challenge online because the net here in Egypt is not effective, and the tablets, I can't imagine the students who are living in Upper Egypt, for example, in the village, okay, they may damage their tablets, and they have many problems related to the technical okay, usage and something like that. They are not aware like the students who is living, for example, in the city, okay. They are not aware, or their parents are not aware of how to use modern technology. So my point of view, to ask or to give orders the Ministry of Education to all directorates. Imagine, for example, if we are talking about Mahdi Directorate, to examine or to qualify or to prepare 5 or 10 centers. These centers, Ms. Dina, will be qualified for examining the students.
Exactly.
Yes, and these centers will be qualified. Why? The qualifications or the requirement of the exam will be applied in this center. So I will have all computers are okay, are working. In the same time, by this way, I'm going to deal with a person who is IT. In every school we have IT okay, person. I'm going to send him everything he needed to prepare the center. After that, I am going to send the exam on CD directly to the center. Here I'm going to prevent cheating, and we suffered from cheating many years before, okay, because of many sites managed to get the versions of the exams. And in the same time, on computer or electronic, will give the students their right actually, without the interference of teachers. And I'd like to say here that during observing some corrections, I found that some teachers don't correct as it should be. And after that, we can say, or we want to say, that every student takes his right. No. I am talking frankly speaking, and I am responsible of what I am saying. During exactly previous year, during correcting third prep, I found a hurly-burly, as we say, or a chaos. Because I discovered that no student takes his right. Because of atmosphere, we were all sitting in a class, okay, with no air condition, with no fans. Can you believe me? Will you believe me? I swear by Allah, there were no fans in schools in Ramadan. At 2 o'clock, we were all fasting, and they have to finish, or at the time they had to finish many papers in 2 hours or 3 hours, because they had to return back to their homes to eat their breakfast. They were fasting, okay? So we can say that our students will take the right by this traditional way of assessment. So again, I appreciate the efforts of Dr. Tariq Shawi, because he wanted to change. But Dr. Tariq Shawi online exams will not be suitable for our society, will not be suitable for our schools. We have huge capacity of the students, okay? We have many schools are not equipped up till now, okay, for this new and sudden change. But if we want actually and practically to change, in my point of view, which I actually made, is using computers and sending the CD. And by this way, it won't be one CD, because I have many engineers who are professional in making programs. We have very great professional programmers who can change the versions or the editions of the CD. And we have here EKB, Egyptian Knowledge Bank. It's very important, and we can get many huge number of questions, and they change the edition of the questions like ICDL, okay? It will be, I think, in my point of view, vital, and by this way, we are going to make centers for exams related to every directorate, okay? Again, I hope to apply or to take my point of view and apply it, because online, Dr. Tariq Shawi, the Minister of Education, I think we are going to face again many problems.
Right. The ثانوية عامة,
Yeah.
or the final stage of the high school, as they call it in Egypt.
Yeah.
There is the second, the first, the second, and the third year.
Yeah.
And each and every year of a school year, there is the usual annual debate. Should it be 3 years? Should it be only 1 year? Or should it be 2 years?
Yes.
what are the final decisions taken by the minister concerning that thing, especially that the parents are always in anticipation for a final break when it comes to ثانوية عامة, because it's a lot of panic, a lot of anticipation, a lot of ambitions by students to, because it's their final stage to college.
It's vital stage. It's very, very important stage for the parents before the students. Okay, and we are all parents. Dr. Tariq Shawqi declares, I am saying that because of the huge amount of rumors which mentioned on social media and something like that in Yom al-Saba, and Dr. Tariq Shawqi before that in a conference declared that ثانوية عامة will be 1 year which is third secondary only, and first secondary and second secondary will be evaluation, for evaluation only, because they are 2 years for experience it, or we wanted to practice, we wanted to try what will happen related to tablet, because you know that first secondary previous year who took tablet will continue tablet this year, and those schools who have secondary stages, they are actually made many the classes equipped with smart boards. Okay, because you know the smart boards will be linked with tablets and something like that. I would like to say that Dr. Tariq Shawqi, on my responsibility, I know that many schools bought the smart boards and no teacher know what to do, because they were not trained enough, because they didn't know what about their preparation, what to do, how to prepare, because they used or were accustomed to prepare on notebook, okay, on papers. So I told all the teachers, or I asked them, some teachers in some schools, the manager or the principal didn't tell you what to do. They told me no, he didn't give orders even to the IT to train these teachers of secondary. Why? Because second secondary previous year was first secondary, so they have what? They have tablets. So at least if I were a principal at any school, I would gather all my teachers and tell them this year, before 2 weeks, I think it's enough, before the school year, to prepare them, to train them, to tell them that this year you have to make your slides on tablets, and I think most of the teachers have tablets. Those who don't have tablets, I think they will have their laptops, okay, to prepare their lessons. And after preparing their lessons, whatever the subject he is teaching, math, science, English, Arabic, he is preparing his slides. If you don't know how to prepare, I think the net now is full of everything you need. You are not going,
research,
that's right,
anything.
you are not going to exert great efforts.
That is going to lead us to the idea of training teachers, or find a formula for, or a sector or a department inside the ministry for training those teachers to be able to, especially when it comes to the first prep and year 1 and secondary stage. It's very, as you said, it's vital.
Of course, yes.
You talked about ثانوية عامة, but also these years are vital. These are the starting point of each stage. So there should be a way or a formula so that those teachers could be trained to be able to perform at their best.
Let's talk, this is my field. As a trainer, I am a certified trainer for British Council. At the same time, I trained many sectors, many teachers. In fact, I'd like to appreciate the great efforts of Dr. Tariq Shawqi, because many teachers in many directorates were trained. But I'd like to say frankly also on my responsibility. When I'm training, I found that most of the teachers came for what? For taking the certificate, to put it in his file. I found that, frankly speaking, I found that most of the teachers don't want to innovate or create. So the first word on my lecture, on my training, I said that the change will start from you as a teacher, because Dr. Tariq Shawqi, as the Minister of Education, is not going to do everything himself or alone. So if you are have the dogmas or the criteria of changing, you are going to change. And I gave them many examples of teachers, okay, who weren't asked before to train themselves or to change, or took a huge amount of money or much money. No, they took little money, but they changed it. I told them the example of the history teacher who, before entering the class, to wear, for example, the uniform of Muhammad Ali, the uniform of Mina, the uniform of Tutankhamun to his students. Why did he do that? Is this a kind of a change or not? I think it is a good start, a good step of changing, okay? It is a good step of creativity, because in many sessions, in many trainings, I talk about creativity, how to be a creative teacher, how to be a creative person. If you want to be a creative teacher, I tell them you have to change yourself. And when they talk about the salary, I tell them, please, put in your mind that all our teachers before didn't put in their mind the salary. And Dr. Tariq Shawi exerted many efforts in this field. And I don't put the blame on him, because he asked the Minister of Funds to try to solve the problem of, the salary of teachers. Most of them ask about more money, but he said that I am not satisfied. Dr. Tariq Shawi himself said that. I am not satisfied with the salary of teacher. I know that. The President Sisi himself says that. I am not satisfied with the salary of teachers. But what can we do? We have many sectors. We have many fields. We have many requirements. We have security. We have the army. We have many challenges in all our Upper Egypt, North Egypt, in all our surroundings and borders. So we have the most important, then the importance. If we are good citizens, if we are faithing that our country is really our country, we have to say yes, everything will be okay, but step by step. Here I'd like to refer back again to Thanawiya Amma, because Dr. Tariq Shawi declared that instead of 2 exams per term, there will be 1 exam for each term. So first secondary will be 2 exams, first term and final year. Second secondary will be 2 exams, first term and final year also, and nothing else. And the Thanawiya Amma will be Thanawiya Amma. In the same time, in trainings, up till now, today, I am coming today, and if we have the allowance to show Your Excellency and our audience the great efforts which are still exerted in the field of training teachers. We have new curriculum first prep, for example. They are today, we are training teachers for first prep, because we have new hello for first prep. It is changed, and we have many great trainers who participated in the field with us in the field of training teachers, and all the teachers were aware of how to deal with first prep hello, because it has been changed. In the same time, we are training first secondary teachers, because you know that first secondary also has been changed. In primary stage, up till now, we are still training many teachers in many sectors, in many directorates, to the new curricula. And at the same time, we have Connect Plus, and so on. Great effort exerted. But here, I'd like to say that although the Ministry of Education exerted great efforts and a huge amount of money, much money, but it's your role as teacher. Please try to give us the impression that you are eager to change, because everything will be changed with your hands, not with the Ministry of Education itself, or a person who is a Minister of Education, or the President. No. With the base of the pyramids, who are you, the teachers, honorable teachers, with your support, with your hand, we are going to change. But please give you the faith and impression, good impressions that you want to change.
Right. The vocational education is also one of the most important sectors when it comes to education. It has gone through many stages, and it is one of the tools that is very essential for any sustainable development. If you'd like to elaborate.
I'd like to start many years before, when Dr. Ahmed El-Giyushi was the vice support of Dr. Tariq Shawi, and he, with a cooperation of British Council, we made for the first time training for the vocational sectors. You know that many years before, vocational sector was deprived of trainings. I'd like to convey that they were very happy, because it was the first time. This happened in 2013. Okay, we gave due care to the vocational sector, and we began to train them. In the same time today, that I'd like to say that Dr. Tariq Shawi declared that we have built a new school equipped with all facilities, with everything for agriculture and applicable workers and something like that. Okay? Why? Because he wants to change the idea and the thoughts or the old thoughts of vocational sector. And I'd like here to say that, again, if we want to change the thoughts and the bad old traditions of vocational sector and stuff like that, we have to look at the market itself. Because I can't make or allow my son, for example, to join vocational, saying that you have to join only. No. What about his future? Okay, up till now, we don't have the suitable future. So if you and me as a parent or as a father, if you give the allowance, and we are talking only in, it is not a matter of talking in seminars or conferences, that it is important to let your sons to join vocational. Okay, what about the market? Okay, the market up till now doesn't give the due and the suitable job for the youth. If they found the suitable work and the suitable job with good salary, I think they are going to join. Let's say that some students I met and talked with them in Jalal Fahmy vocational, for example, schools, they are studying up to now for 5 years. When I talked with them, I found some of them train themselves, change themselves, take some certificates during the 5 years in summer vacation. Why? When I asked them, why do you do that? Because they told me, we want to travel abroad. And I said that before. Dr. Aisha Abdel Hadi, when she was a minister, okay, she said that I had and brought from Italy, for example, contracts for youth, but she didn't find the suitable workers. Because we don't have up till now the suitable workers, yes, who are really trained as it should be to be suitable for the market of work. That's right. So please, if we want to change, what about Mubarakul? We don't know what happened. Mubarakul was one example of great applicable example of graduating new youth who are really qualified for the markets, whether here locally in Egypt or abroad. So again, I'd like to say that Ministry of Education tries step by step to change the thoughts of parents by saying that we have many schools, we have applicable training, and I'd like to say here that some parents or most of the parents will change their point of view if they found the market suitable for their sons, if they found good salary for their sons. And here I'd like to say, related to vocational sector, I can't forget what happened when I was a student in third prep. They took the pioneer students, okay? They took 10 students. Why? We visited at that time agriculture schools, okay? Industrial schools and commercial schools. Why? It was under the supervision of the Ministry of Education. At the same time, they told us, we made that to let you know what about these schools working for, and what about the subjects they are studying and taking in these schools, and so on. So at the time, I'd like to thank this idea, and I hope that Dr. Tariq Shawi apply this point of view again. Take some students from third prep who are going to join first secondary, and to be ambassadors for their students at schools, to return back after visiting these schools, vocational sector, to tell them what about these schools, what about the fields, what about the subjects, okay, what about the future of these schools, what about the new improvements and the developments which actually occurred in this sector and these schools. And I think 10 students are enough to return back to their schools, to be ambassadors, to convey the message and to tell their students that we attended in the vocational sector. It's very important because so and so and so and so. So by this way, the student to his student, with his student, with his colleague, okay, with their peers, they will be convincing. Okay,
of course.
That's right. So the vocational sector, in fact, wants great improvements, and I think the train has started. Okay, from the first station, we have many stations to come, God willing, and I think the future of vocational in Egypt is very, very important. But if we give due care to the small projects, up till now, we talk about small projects on papers, on the pages of papers, but I think you can't find small project here in Egypt, and up till now, I didn't find you know, in Japan, what's happening in Japan. They work from homes, okay? They prepare many things from homes. Up till now, we don't have this culture. So we want years and years coming, inshallah, to prepare ourselves for the coming challenges of the future.
The spoon feeding of that type of education, it is very old-fashioned, but not that we are accusing the old-fashioned way of education, because the old-fashioned system is proved that it's very successful and working.
Yeah.
But the concept of spoon feeding of students and injecting information inside their minds in such a very intense way. There are efforts exerted by the ministry to try to change or find means to be able to upgrade or totally change this particular system.
Yeah, in fact, here I'd like to say that because you talked about if we want to compare between the past and the present, what is the difference? The difference between the past and the present in the education field is that the teachers in the past were honest teachers. Okay, although our fathers and our generation were accustomed to deal with traditional book. Okay, there was no mobile, there were no tablets, there were no laptops or computers. But what was happening at the time, we had great, honorable teachers, honest teachers. They were not, their aim wasn't only private sector as we are facing now, this problem, huge problem, which we are going to talk about. We found that those students were not busy by PUBG games or Happy Farm or the mini games that polluted the minds of the students and took their minds.
True.
You can't believe me when I ask, when you find or you visit any school at a sudden, you will find a catastrophe, you will find a disaster happening in the school because of the allowance of some schools to bring mobiles at schools. Which is more attractive, the textbook or the games? The games, of course. So I think on one of the episodes on air, when I or during talking about this problem, I was laughing with the counsel of Dr. Rada Abu Sriya, I think, was talking with him and talking about why don't we bring directors to direct our curriculums. Okay, I think it's important to apply that in the field of education rather than films and serials. That's right. So to attract what? To attract our sons. And I gave the example, what makes our sons, what makes my son, for example, what makes your son is attracted to the film or to the game, and when you, as a teacher, talk with him, convey your message, he doesn't want to listen to you. Because here, we lack the point of attraction. This, in fact, frankly speaking, what is the Ministry of Education tries hard to apply. And I'd like to say, the news in Yom Al-Saba said that Dr. Tariq Shawqi that is giving due care to the first and second primary, this is the first stage, by making programs. And actually, they are applying that. These programs, Ms. Dina, will lead the students and they give them the allowance to watch movies, to play games, but games related to the subjects, related to Arabic, related to science. Okay, so we are going to gamify the subjects, which we say that we are going to play, in the same time we are going to study. This mixture between playing and studying is very fruitful, is very fantastic, because here we are going to apply the point of view which is attraction point. Okay, when we apply that to attract the students, I think all of them will love school. We will attract them to school, because we have here a problem that we this year and the previous year, most of third prep students don't come to school. ثانوية عامة, many years don't come to school. So why? Because the teachers are not attractive, I'd like to say. No teacher is a history teacher.
Or they are not qualified enough?
Most
maybe?
of them, yes, most of them.
So that was, it's
They
going
are,
to take
they are qualified, frankly speaking. We have to differentiate between this and that. They are qualifying, yes. They are qualified, yes. Most of them took master degree and PhD. In the past, our teachers didn't have master degree or PhD. Okay? But what is the gap? The gap is that In the past, we didn't have mobiles, didn't have computers. So now we have a point of attraction. So how to take our students...
Distracting our students, but we only have 3 minutes.
Yeah.
We need to talk about the private lessons.
It's a problem.
How are you going to start?
Yeah.
The students resort to private lessons because the requirements are not fully addressed inside the school.
Let's say
it's
that...
not because of anything else.
Yeah, let's say that this private lesson, it is a problem of students, parents, and the teachers. But let's start from teachers. The private lessons started firstly and mainly from teachers who are not honest. Frankly speaking, they are not honest. Those teachers who started giving private lesson from June and from July. Why? Okay? Because of money. They want to make business. I think I said that scientifically, and in fact, we can finish any subject in 3 or 4 months. So what is the reason of starting private from June? After finishing the year, they are going to, and they contact parents and students. This, okay, I'd like to say that the Ministry of Education should fight those teachers who make announcements. If I were the Minister of Education, I would fight those teachers who put any announcement, any kinds of announcement on the streets, okay, on some schools, on some walls of some schools, on social media. I will fight them, because the students, I think they have the right to spend their vacation, to spend their holiday, okay, and after that to prepare themselves from September, from the first day. The second problem is the student himself. I talked about the problem of first problem teachers, the students, because some students don't attend like third prep or Tehaiwi Amma. Why? Why don't you want to attend the schools? They will say that there is no teaching. No, I watched and observed. We are in schools. I observed many teachers who are working with 5 and 6, and in our schools they actually attend. Okay, we are language schools, they actually attend. Do you know why? Because these students are smart and intelligent students. They thought that, and when I asked them, because they told me that, frankly speaking, that we are sitting 5 instead of 20 or 40, we will be 5. So 5 in a class, it will be a first private. So after listening in school or at school, he will apply or complete in private, so he will catch 2 birds with 1 stone. He will understand better, he will understand more. So please, I beg all the students to return back to schools. And if you found any teacher, okay, who doesn't want to work, please send that to the principal, to the directorate, to the Minister of Education, and I think the Minister of Education will take the right laws and will prevent anyone who gave private during, and Dr. declared that many times, during the day, year, or in the same time after finishing the school.
On that final encouraging note, we
Yeah.
have to end it here. Dr. Ibrahim Tehaiwi, you are a member of the International Parliament of Human Development. You're also a certified trainer at British Council, and you're, on top of all, UN Counselor for Training and Development. Thank you very much.
I'm really grateful, thank you.
Our pleasure, and I guess that brings us to the end of this edition of Windows and Current Affairs. Many thanks to all of you, and until we see you again next week, that's goodbye.